for the last 60 days now, maybe 75 at this point. And that simply states no New Year's resolutions. And the reason why we said that is because we made the whole confession that it's worth starting now. And so that's the start component to our life. Okay? The start component to your life is there's never an ideal time for us to begin something. If you're looking for an ideal setup, an ideal time, most of the times people that are looking for that, they never get started. And so I want to challenge you, when you think about things that you're starting this year, think about it's okay to start something on a Wednesday. It's okay to start something on a Saturday. It doesn't have to be Monday. It doesn't have to be the first of the month. It doesn't have to be at that quote-unquote right time, because there's not a right time. Your goals, your dreams, your admiration, the things you aspire towards, when you have that in your heart to do, it's time for you to get going. Here's the next thing I want to say on that is you're going to get more along the way than you're ever going to get at the start. So don't think you have to have it all together from the beginning. You just need to know that you're ready to begin. And as you begin, you're going to receive more things down the road. I like to say it this way. Don't get caught up in the stage. Get caught up in the step. You want to get caught up in what's the steps that I need to be taking, not the stage or the ultimate place that I'm building. So our first statement here on our sheet tonight says this: advancement comes when there is alignment within your assignment. You're going to have advancement this year when you can have alignment within your assignment. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight looks like this right here. Okay? This is the great unveil. All right? Here we go. Here we go. If the handwriting's not good, we can blame Lindsay, because she's the one that wrote it. Okay? If you don't know, Lindsay's one of the workers here. So I want you to see this here. Let me bring it a little closer so that we can all kind of really look at this. Hopefully you can see this. So when I look at this, I really want you to focus in on something. So alignment, of course, comes down, and our assignment goes this way here. And really what I want you to focus on is there's quadrants. There's 4 quadrants that you can see here, a part of this sheet. Okay? Now, when it's all said and done, the quadrant we really want to live in is this quadrant right here. This quadrant speaks about it's going up and it's going here. Okay? And so this quadrant is a quadrant when I have total alignment and my assignment. Okay? So on your sheet, the way that you get to this quadrant is 3 R's. 3 R's is the easiest way for you to get to this place. My assist you to win people by now, this should be just like ready to go. I should be able to call one of you and you should be able to fill this out and be able to go. Now, I'm probably not going to do that because I don't want to put you on the spot, but I should be able to, right? So here's the 3 R's. The first R is what's required of you. When you're really thinking about aligning your life, the first thing you must do is ask yourself the question, what's required of me? Okay? What is it that you do on a day-to-day basis and that it's for you to do and no one else to do? Okay? Because the reason why I start there is because if you're going to maximize this season of your life, you're going to have to eliminate being the jack of all trades. I shared with you for 40 years, John Maxwell spent his entire life on one subject, and that was the subject of leadership. And the reason why he's at the place he's at today is because he focused in on one thing. He didn't try to do everything. He just said, I'm going to do one thing. So from a small church in Indiana, he starts a thing called the Enjoy Life Club, where he started speaking about leadership. He had 2 churches sign up, and it was $9.99. And I remember because I was one of the people that down the way end up signing up for his Enjoy Life Club. He would send you a lesson and some notes, and he kept going to the place that businesses started listening to him, and he opened up the second phase, which was called Equip. And so the equip became the business end of leadership. The enjoy spoke about leadership, but more in the church world. But this guy said, what's required of me is to spend 1 hour per day in this one subject, and ultimately over time he went from a rookie to being an expert. What's required of you? Second thing is, the second R is, what gives you the greatest return? What gives you the greatest return in your world? I see people that have plenty of activity and very little productivity. The reason for it is because they have not put their activity to the places that give them return. Everything we do is really not needed for us to do. Unfortunately, we like doing some of the things and we dislike some of the things. If you're going to have total advancement, you have to fall in love with doing the things that give you return over doing the things that give you joy or pleasure. Now with that, we've aligned something where the reward is after the work, right? You can play today, pay tomorrow. You can pay today and play tomorrow. So we have to see which one are we going to do. Well, guess what? You're going to pay the price. It just doesn't matter. You're going to pay the price. So first R, what's required of me? What gives me the greatest return? And the next R is, what gives me the greatest rewards? And the reward is normally needs to be in the third slot. Because if I put the rewards in the first slot, now I'm playing before I'm doing, and if I'm playing before I'm doing, there's going to be a time where there's no more playing because I didn't have enough doing, and if without the doing, I don't have anything to go play with. So this is part of the alignment, but now part of the assignment, okay? So here's what I like to talk about right here. So you got your 3 R's. Now what do you do with all the other things that you have that are needed to be done? Why some businesses don't scale is because they're unwilling to delegate it to somebody else because they think that no one can do it as good as you. But can I tell you something? It's okay if they can't do it as good as you. Here's the good formula. If somebody can do it 80% of what you're doing it, let it go. Because if you do everything, the thing that you're supposed to be doing that gives you return, you need to be doing more of that. So let me stop here. What normally gives you the greatest return is also normally the thing that you're in your sweet spot. Okay? So like Kioka, another client of ours, she is great at connecting with people. So if she's in the office doing office work all the time and not out connecting with people, the return factor with her in the field connecting with people is going to yield her better than her being in the office doing all the paperwork. So she has to be willing to let go of that because of the return that I get over here. Let's make it make sense. If being in the field pays her $100 every time she's in the field, but doing the paperwork is necessary to keep up with this. If I can now take from the 100, right, $20 and say, I got somebody to do paperwork for 20. How most people see it is, oh, I don't get to keep my 100 anymore because I only get to keep 80. But now I get more time in the field to make more hundreds. So which one's more valuable for you? Netting $80 because I'm in the field and getting to be able to do it more, or taking care of this 100 and having all my time where I have to shut down everything else because I got to do everything. This is part of scaling what you do, all based on these 3 R's. Okay? Next thing though here, if we're going to focus good in this quadrant, okay, I want to only focus in this quadrant here. The next thing I need you to focus on when you're in this quadrant is this here, clarity. Clarity produces certainty. When you are clear about your assignment, your it, right? When you're clear about your it, it's easier for you to do your it. But when you're unclear about your it, what happens is you can get pulled to all different places because you are not clear about your it. So what is your it? So let's talk about it. What's your what? We walked around through the room, and you got to share what's your what. Okay? So there's 4 questions here. What's your what? That's what you do. How clear is what you do, right? Then what's your why? What is that why to your what? The stronger your why, the more you're going to put time into that area. People that have a weak why quit very easy. People that have a strong why, they can push through, they can endure, they can go to the next level, they can take things because of the why that they've defined. Now, all of these things you need to be so clear on that somebody asks you, what's your what? You should be able to speak it and share it. What's your why? You should be able to share it. The next thing, though, is after you know what your what is and know what your why is, who's your who? We all have ideal clients. Each and every one of us have an ideal client. And as we define our who, it helps me to stay in this quadrant. Because what I'm telling you right now, if you can stay in this quadrant, you can now start to surgically know that this is a place that when I go here, I do this, and ultimately it leads me to the 4th question is, what's your how? That's the strategy aspect of it. The strategy aspect of it causes me now to have a systematic system that allows me to understand that I do this, it leads me to that, it causes this to occur, and it's the domino effect, right? So in the domino effect, though, what's the most important thing? 1 or 10? It's 1. So part of it is the clarity factor, okay? So with clarity, keeps me in this quadrant up here. Now, we all have to say we've seen people have advancement that were unclear, right? Everybody can say we've seen one-hit wonders. We've seen fly-by-nights. We've seen somebody that maybe are strong in advertising but don't have depth to their program. And so, has anybody bought anything online before? And then after you bought it, you were like, oh, that's all that stuff was? That was nothing, right? But that was because what? They did something, right? But they did not focus on other things. Or they did too many things, right? Sometimes it's watered down because we're trying to do all of these things, okay? So again, we're going to focus here in this quadrant here. All right, so let's look at our sheet again. So now look at this. Look at your thing there. The thing that you started. Now tonight I'm just kind of walking you through a mini talk / coaching session together. That's really what we're doing. So I want you to ask yourself this question. The thing that you started, should you have started that? Okay? Ask yourself the question, why did I start it? Do you have a strong why? Okay? Think about the thing you started. So when you ask yourself that question, now you got to start asking yourself the question of, how do I maintain and keep this going? Because we all have to admit there's the tendency or there's the opportunity. We have the propensity to what? Quit things. My little thing that I like to say is what? January, New Year's resolutions. Life is exciting. We're going after life. February, it's love it or leave it normally in February, right? We go find our love for Valentine's Day and we leave our goals. By the time you get to March, it's March Madness. You are now mad at yourself that you quit what you said you were going to start in January, and you're now at February, and you're in March now, and you're frustrated. April, it's April Fools. You fooled yourself again and told yourself this is what it's going to be, right? May, Mother's Day. You need a motherly love to come let you know it's going to be okay, baby, right? And it's that feel that we go through. And then by this point, we're in June. It's like, oh, I can't wait till next year. It's going to be my year next year. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm going to kill it next year. But this year, I just got to make it through this year. And it's a cycle we go through. So there's 3 words that if you can put in your life, this will be the year that you destined it to be. Let's see here. I wonder what the 3 words are. Start, continue, finish. That's it. Start, continue, and finish. Well, how am I going to be able to start, continue, finish? Here's the thing. I want to make sure that the one thing is my one thing. So listen to this. You build what you birth. You drop what you adopt. You build what you birth. So we got two people sitting here. You got to make sure that it was started on the inside of you, because if it's you, you're going to build that thing. When you start that, I started that because of this reason right here, and I'm going to make sure this happens. Now, what do I do in order to maintain this simplistic life? Let's look at the 3 A's right here. Continual advancement occurs when I can do these 3 A's. These 3 A's right here is what you need in your life. The first A is awareness. So write that down, awareness. So the power of coaching is in the place of awareness. Why do people go out and get a coach? Why do people come to seminars? Why should you have this kind of aspect in your life from a place of awareness? You want to get to a place where you are aware what's on the inside of you. As TK shared, we're part of a group that we get together on Sundays, once a month, and we challenge one another. We challenge one another in our thought life. We pass books one to another. One of the books that he shared with me I think in December is when he was really on this book. I picked up the book and I listened to the person speak that he shared some of the clips with. And one of the things that he shared was most of us are not aware of our thought life. We're not aware of it. And we're not aware of it to the point of we think the same thought every single day. And we wonder why we have the same feelings, the same emotions, and the same actions. Because we have been sitting around thinking the same thought. So as that came to me, I said it this way. Insanity and destiny don't go together. See, destiny is what we are on at the beginning of the year. I want to become this. But insanity is normally how our actions are. We're doing the same thing, but we want a different result. But those two don't go together. So the challenge tonight is, how do you have a new thought? Because you really can't have a new year until there's a new you. And you can't have a new you until there's a new thought. And with that new thought, you have to go to the next A, which is awareness leads to action. There has to be a different action if there's going to be a different result. All right? So once I become aware of me, and the reason why that's very important, you guys, is because the clothes you have on tonight, somehow you like them. And if you are wearing clothes that other people like, and it's not because you like, then I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get aware of you. Because if you're living life for somebody else, I promise you it's going to get frustrating. That's the reason why social media is crazy. Because it's easy to right-click and put the right post up, but it's difficult for us to live out that post. But awareness is when I'm real with me, and really social influence is not the thing that I'm on. I'm not being influenced by all the other people. I'm being influenced by what's on the inside of me. Okay? So awareness, action. The thing that you started, every desire has a corresponding action that it needs to take place in order for you to get to the result. Right? So now we have to become specific in our action. What are the actions that are necessary in order for me to lead me to the thing that I said I'm aware of or that I desire? Okay? And then the third A is accountability. So 3 A's. Awareness, action, accountability. Talk to me, what's the power of accountability to you? Now I want to ask you a question, and you got to be honest, and you don't have to raise your hand because this is about you. You just have to have self-reflection and aware. If right now you had to tell me who the person is that knows what's on your start board. Do you have people in your world that knows what's on your start board? Okay, so I just want you to think about it, right? I want you to think about it. I want you to think about if your goals are out there and you know what your goals are. Do you have people that know what your goals are right now? Okay? Do you have that in your world? Now, with accountability, you have to have a check-in, check-on, and check-up system. Okay? If you don't have that, you don't have accountability. Next thing, if you got a true accountability system, it has to be to a place where somebody is not fearful that they're going to lose the relationship with you if they call you out on something. It's not accountability if it's, I'm just saying, it's not accountability if the person does not have the right, if you did not give them the right and the authority to be able to call you out on what you're doing. It's not accountability. So be careful if now it's your best friend. Okay? If you can't have that kind of honest conversation and you can't still go out to eat with somebody and they call you out. If your feelings are on your sleeve when they call you out, it's not accountability. Right? So I want to make sure you have that. Now I'm going to give you a couple of practical things that you can do with the check-in, check-on, check-up system in just a second. All right, let's move through. All right, so awareness, actions, accountability. Repetition is the foundation for mastery. All right? Repetition is the foundation for mastery. Why is this important to me? The reason why this is important is because I want you to know that it could get boring if you're successful. Okay? It could get boring if you're successful. Because it could be you repeating the same thing over and over in order for you to get where you want to go. And if you are not hooked on and in love with the place that you're going, it may get boring. Now, my dad was in the military, so we used to fly overseas. And anytime we would fly overseas, the plane ride was a long plane ride. And anytime you're on a plane for a long period of time, it gets uncomfortable on that plane. And you start getting squirmy and you want to move around, you want something, but you had to sit there and just endure the ride. I'm telling you right now, the start phase is the fun phase. It's exciting when we're starting something because you're thinking so much about what this is going to be when you get there. Which tells me that you have to have that stay with you in order for you to keep that going on. What is that? It's emotionalizing the action. If you do not put the emotion to the action, it's going to get boring to the place that you do not want to do it anymore. So you have to be able to magnify this place over here. You only started it because it was supposed to lead you to a greater place. You don't normally start things because it takes you to a bad place. You started this action because it helped you make more money, it helped your business, it did something that you wanted. So if you don't visit that place on a day-to-day basis, then I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to stop doing the action. So those that do not have clarity to why I started this is why we ultimately start dropping it. And we get on the new hype and the new thing. Remember all words: start, continue, finish. Can we say that? Say start, continue, finish. Those three words are words that you're going to have. How am I going to start it? It doesn't take any momentum to start because I already started with excitement. Continue is where I have to work through, because if I'm going to continue it, I have to do something with it. So let's look at some stuff. So let's get some practical things to you today. The first one is this: become brilliant with your bookends. Okay? Become brilliant with your bookends. So what do I mean by the bookends? So just think about something. If you had old school, you would have right here, I'm one of the best artists in the world, so just bear with me, okay? So this is bookend, and here's all your books. What was the bookend supposed to do? Keep them together, right? Hold it together. So the bookends. Give me 1 hour and break it up into 30 minutes. And I promise you, if you adopt this right here, there's going to be greater advancement for you. These are the bookends. How do you begin your day? 30 minutes of you getting up 30 minutes earlier than you normally do and begin your day. The reason why this is valuable is because this is the uninterrupted time. When I get up at 5 in the morning, I don't have a lot of people sending me text messages. I don't have phone calls I got to deal with. I don't have to look at my email. I don't have to do any of those things because this is my time because I'm up 30 minutes prior to anything else. So this is a time where I review my goals. I inspire myself. I read books. I focus on my plan. I visit my dream. I do all of this in this side of my day. Because guess what's going to happen in this part of your day? You don't know. You just don't know. I get it. You're the best planner. And I get that you got your schedule. And I get that life is the way you want it to be. But most of us have to admit that somewhere in the course of our day, there's going to be an interruption. And when the interruption comes, it takes us off course. It takes us off course. 80% of the time an airplane is going from one place to the next place, it's off course. They say the pilot is constantly trying to move the plane back into line in order for it to get to the location that you said you wanted to go to. That's our life. But if I focus my attention on this 30 minutes and this 30 minutes, so the beginning of my day is my inspiration. It's my focal point. It's my time that I really get into me, my plan, my dream. That's what I call huddle up. I huddle up at this phase because this is where I get the play for the day. I call specific plays for the day. Now, learn to operate by the one thing every single day, and I promise you, in your 30 minutes, come up with one thing that you got to do today that's going to move you close to your dream. Because this is called one thing or MVP. What's the most valuable priorities that you have for that day? And now come up with what's your one thing. Does that make sense? Because in doing that, guess what? You now know if my day goes all over, I have to do my one thing. Okay? The back end, last 30 minutes. Put your kids to sleep. You've done everything you need to do. So sometimes you got to turn the TV off, and now you got to do this. You got to reflect. What happened here today? Who did I meet today that I need to be in, that I got to stay in contact with, right? Like this, Trace, I got to know her. She's an event planner. She's in New York. She's in D.C. I got to know her. She right now is listening to me speak. See, I'm putting the right thoughts in her head. She's listening to me speak right now, and she's saying, man, I could take this guy around the country with this talk. Well, God dog, Trace, well, let's go. Shoot, right? So my point, though, is you got to reflect on this back end of the day, and you have to be able to keep score. Keep score. Listen to me. Measurables become deliverables. Measurables become deliverables. If you're not measuring it, you're not going to deliver upon it. Okay? I learned this last year. Some of the mistakes I made, and I can't wait to do this talk I'm going to do I got it selected to speak at Lisa Nichols' conference, and it's going to be crazy because in the course of it, I'm going to get up and talk about all the mistakes I made last year. Right? That's my whole talk. It's just talking about all my mistakes. But one of the mistakes I made is I hired somebody and didn't have any measurables. Well, that was bad. What are you going to deliver? They're going to deliver whatever they want now. And it looks like they're doing a great job. Well, what are the measurables? Same thing. Most of us, though, go to work and we have no measurables for ourselves. Right? So you have no deliverables. Let's move on. Second thing is discipline over distractions. That's self-explanatory, but that's something that you got to have. Right? How do you have discipline over distractions? And what are the distractions? Do you realize that your desires are where your distractions come from? The place of your desire is the place where your distractions are going to come from. So you got to have discipline over your distractions. We have to have more of that, what Lori just said, what she did. We have to have more of that. To be able to say no, which we're going to get into, might as well get there now. This year, I want to challenge you, you need to say no more than you say yes. People that are clear say no more than they say yes. You know, right now I get asked to do a lot of different things. But you know what I had to learn to do? I had to learn to say no. Just like right now, there was a person that was looking for a speaker. You know what I did? I said no to me, but said yes to the next person. And one of the people that I'm in connection with are going right now and just got booked for a good engagement down in Houston. All because I said no, but I offered it to somebody else. Because it wasn't in my wheelhouse. It wasn't in my sweet spot. And I have to stay in that vein. Okay? So I want to challenge you this year, say no more than you say yes. Now, when you say no, this is just like, I've just been going through this. When I say no, internally you got to say so. Right? How many times have you said no and somebody get an attitude with you? What? I mean, and so internally while they're doing that, you're saying so. And then note the next word you say. Oh, real McCoy just came out. See, this is internal now. Say this out loud. No. Inside you're saying, when they do that, they flip out and do all that stuff, say, so? And you got to say it, but make sure you don't show it on your face. That was my problem. Because my problem was that while I was saying so, it was on my face. So what? Right? But you got to, no, so, I see. Right? You know, motivation, the root word is what? Motives. So now, when they get to you, what were their motives? So if you're in your vein and I can't be in my vein, well, what's wrong with this picture? Okay? So say no more and say yes. All right? We talked about this one already. Define daily your MVPs. That's your most valuable priorities. You got to define that daily. Not monthly, daily. Define it daily. Okay? Define it daily. Last one is this. We're almost done. The last one is activate your ahas. While I've been talking, there's been certain things that just jumped off at you. Okay? That's what you need to activate. Watch this. Watch this. Ahas, once they're activated, turn into I haves. Okay? Your ahas, once you activate them, turn into your I haves. When you put into motion that very thing that you just got inspired to do tonight, it's going to turn into now your I haves in your life. Okay? All right. So in the course of this, we all need methodology. So what's the methodology? The methodology is the methods that we're going to use. Start, continue, finish. What's mastery? The only difference between a white belt and a black belt is time. Okay? Same skills, same techniques, but it was time. They stayed after it longer. That's mastery. You stay after it until it becomes second nature. Okay? You stay after it until it becomes second nature. TK helps me stay so focused on thinking mentally right. When I get around them, that's all we always talk about. Hey, what's your thought life? What's going on up there? You got me something? Right? To the place that he inspired me. That, you know, now we got something called the Winning Wear Apparel. Because you always hear me, assist you to win, the connected place for winners. But he inspired me last time. You know, sometimes more things are caught than taught. You don't have to get up and say, I'm teaching you this, Derrick. But he said he's wearing an undershirt that has his goal on his undershirt. And that became his undershirt. Well, shoot, that inspired me. It said he's putting it on. You know, we hear that in the church. Oh, I put on the breastplate of righteousness and I put on the shield of faith. And that sounds great. But guess what? You better put your goal on. So I put my goal on. So you know what I started doing? He can do it. I can do it. I wrote with a pen, my goal. And I started writing on a t-shirt. And I said, so now all day long I'm thinking about this is where I'm going. Right? But you got to be clear because you got to know. I walk in the door here tonight. Had no clue. So there's a plan I've been doing, right? Just follow my plan. So Good Morning Texas wants to interview me. I said, whoa, how do they know me? I just been some guy sitting over here, hanging out, learning the back end of systems, haven't asked to get on anybody's stage. How did I get on Lisa Nichols' stage? Because I just was consistently doing what? Start, continue, finish. You know how many times people try to get me over here, get over there, do this and do that? Let me just do what I do. People didn't know. I got a 6 o'clock call every single morning. It didn't matter if I had the flu. I was right up with them, doing on my 6 o'clock call right here. Mastery. until you get to the place of maturity. What is maturity? Maturity is simply this. When you can execute, execution without supervision. Most of you in the room had some type of entrepreneurial area, gifting that you have. And sometimes you don't have any supervision. So the reason why you get to have life without execution is because you did not have true accountability. So tonight, I want you to challenge yourself on this. If this is so important to you, and you know this year you do not want to drop it, I want you to challenge yourself of this. If you went out tonight and got a $7 meal at McDonald's, what would be the end result of that $7 meal? Huh? Huh? What would it be? Heartburn, calories, right? If you went out and bought a $100 purse, what's the end result of that purse? It's going to be cute. It's going to be cute. Oh, we got to start over. Thank God this is their paper. I pay for membership here, so you know, put that stuff over there. All right. So here's what I want to do tonight. I want to end with this right here, and I want to challenge you on something, okay? So here we go. Your system and plan that you have in place right now is this right here. 5 divided by 5 equals 1. This is getting you to where you want to be. This is kind of where your life is right now. It's getting you to this point right here. We're going to use the same numbers. And I want you to listen to this statement. The Pareto principle says that 20% of what I do yields 80% of the results. Okay? Small effort, big return. Right? So that tells me that small tweaks in your life will yield you major results. Small tweaks. Small tweaks. So this is what you've been doing right now to get you right to here. Let's look at a small tweak. Same line, same dot, same dot. Tweak. Was it a small tweak? Small tweak yielded us what? Greater return. Okay? Let's do it again. Small tweak. This turned over 45 degrees. Yields you once again a greater return. So my question to you is, who's the buffer and blinder in your life? Who's the eyes that's helping you come to a greater place of awareness, that sees something in you that maybe you don't see today? Where's that accountability structure that's in your world? So tonight you have an opportunity. I would love for you to join us at Assist You to Win. So the first thing you can do is join us through our Facebook page. Go to Facebook, Assist You, the letter U, the number 2. It's right there on your sheet. Win. Go on Facebook, hit the like button, like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram. Follow us. We deliver content to you all the time. But this group is different. Chris said he was at his home and just read something and decided, hey, let me get up and just come hear this guy speak because it kind of interests me. This is the group of people that you've already been at work, you already do what you do, and you're a different group of people. So I want to challenge you. If $1 a day would be $365, $1 a week, I want to challenge you tonight. We have a group thing that's called Action 52. Action 52 is real simple. 52 weeks in a year, you should be taking action every single week. And for $1 a week, I want you to join our exclusive content. You say, well, what are you going to do in that exclusive content? What you're going to do is you're going to receive things just like you received tonight, where it's practical, it's simple, and it's something that you can go and apply right now and put into your life. You're also going to be inside of a room where what you just told me was called peer-to-peer accountability. Peer-to-peer accountability is simply this, is where you don't want to let yourself look bad in front of the group because you want to make sure that you got action. The next piece that you're going to get inside this group is you're going to have challenging conversations because the relationships inside the group are going to ultimately form and forge where you're going to be able to take it to the next level. So I started this group, and we're kicking this group off for this reason. I have a coaching group with 20 individuals. I won't go over 20 people right now. That's the only thing I'll take is 20 people. I have 7 slots for that. That's a higher investment because I give more of my time in that place. I have 7 spots there. That I can't offer that tonight. Why? Because in the course of that, we need to talk before we do that. I always tell people all the time, as much as people are looking at me and saying, I wonder if that's the person that's supposed to be my coach. I do the same thing. I'm wondering if you're the right person that's supposed to be my client. Because it's a relationship that goes both ways, right? Because when people look at you, they say, well, who's your coach? Oh, my coach is Coach Derrick. And they say, well, you sure ain't doing anything. Well, guess what they say? Well, I ain't going to that guy. I got to have Lori's in my life. I got to have Kyoko's in my life. I got to have Keisha's in my life. I got to have Johnny Mac's in my life. I got to have people that are making a difference and are ready for coaching. So I always start people in this group right here like Action 52. We have other things that are similar to it, but Action 52 is the specific one. So there's 2 things I'm offering to you tonight. Action 52. It's $52 for the entire year. You get 52 weeks. You'll get access like this all the time. So 2 things that you'll get every single month. You'll get lessons just like I just gave tonight, and you'll get a Zoom call where we'll talk, and you'll be able to talk amongst the group. Now, I can't promise you how many people come in there at the Zoom call during that time. And I promise you this, I won't make the Zoom call at 6 a.m. in the morning because I know what happens when I make them at 6 a.m. I get the people that love the morning time. And it's not because of commitment, right? Back in the day, they used to always say in the church, oh, if you were really saved, you would come back to Sunday night service. Well, that's not always true. Sometimes you're not a morning person. So that's that group. The second thing I have is somebody says that, you know what I need? I just need 1 call. And I found out that in a 90-minute call, we can help put you on track. And so we have that too tonight. So you say, well, how do I get to these things? Or, you know what, Derrick, I want to talk to you more. So first and foremost, for some of you, you're saying, I'm good with this. All I need to do, you can go to that bottom website. It's called takeaction52.com. You go to that website, you click the button, you sign up for it, you'll get access to this area that I'm talking about. That's $52. It's a one-time charge. It goes for the whole entire year, and you'll be committed to receiving this kind of content put inside of a special group, and you'll always have access to us from that form. The next place is 90 for 90. 90 minutes, $90, where, in my opinion, you won't need to talk to me again for another 90 days because we'll put you in motion, that will get you a plan, and it'll help you go. And then there's some of you that said, you know what? In the course of it, though, I think I want to hang out with you even more than that, and I want to be in that 7. I want one of those 7 spots. Well, we'll talk later, right? And we'll make sure that it's the right thing for you, and we'll share with you those things to see if that is the right fit for you. But that's tonight, right? So Action 52 is that. We have only a few books here, right? We have a few books here. It's the DGCP Bookwork Edition. I'm going to tell you right now, because this is just who I am, I'm very open. This bookwork is a lead generating bookwork with the 31 thought starters of the day. These thought starters are triggers that will keep you in motion. They'll get you in motion. So tonight I have, I guess, 7 or so books. That's all I have with me tonight. Or you can go on Amazon and you can get you a copy. You can do for $2.99 on Kindle, or you can get the bookwork sent to you from Amazon for $9.99. So those are $9.99, and I don't think we have a lot of change, so you can just pay me $10. We'll get you a penny or two somewhere, right? So that's that tonight. All right. Now I'm going to open up the floor. I'm done speaking, but I'm going to open up the floor. If you have any questions tonight for me about the program I just talked to you about, or about the presentation, we're going to open up the floor there.